well, just to get us to go ahead and get started, we are going to give you just an overall idea of what actually Evernote is. Kind of start small and then get you to the point where how are you going to be able to use Evernote for your accommodations and how can we help you use it for your needs. So just again, to give you the idea, we're going to start with what it actually is and what it can be used for. So to go ahead and get started, Evernote is a way for you to be able to capture all of your notes, all of your different files, different web clips, different pictures, all in one spot to keep it organized. So really the way to think about Evernote is like an online filing cabinet. Keeps all of your different topics that are related with each other or not related with each other in one spot for you to be able to find. So you can type notes, you can create documents from your computer that you already have in your computer, you can record audio, you can take pictures. So really everything that we're doing here, like instead of pencil, paper, note taking, you could actually be taking it in Evernote, as well as everything that you find randomly on the web and throughout your daily life. You could capture it all within Evernote. The best piece of it too is that you can get it on any device. So if you're at home and you find something, then you can still be at your school computer and have the information hooked up to both devices. So, you know, if it's one of those things where, oh, I forgot it at home, that's okay, it's actually on your school computer ready to go anyways. So that's the beauty behind Evernote too, is you can get it from multiple sources.
Now we're going to go through how can you use this in your classrooms. Okay, first is organizing your classroom with tags. Similar to what we just talked about. You can have your major tags and you can have tags underneath that. So here you have your GT math and then underneath that you have your workshop, your worksheets, your homework logs and your units. Under science you have the same thing, homework, and you have instruction sheets. If you're a high school teacher and you teach different sections, you could have period 1 with what they're doing, period 2, so on and so forth. Like I said before, makes it really easy to search for things when you're down the road and you want to find a lesson plan that maybe you wrote the year before. You can also, we talked about, save and share your lesson plans. So if you wrote a lesson plan and you really like it, you want to share it with somebody, you can do that, whether they have an Evernote account or whether they don't. If they have one, even better, they can then put it into their notebook, wherever it fits. But it makes it a whole lot easier, so that way you're not emailing it, they have it, it's there.
Right, so like if you work on a team, you know, you're responsible for math, they're responsible for ELA, science, and instead of walking to their room with the paper clipped attachments of here's what you're going to need, sharing it on Evernote would reduce that. So literally the idea of if I'm in charge of math, I can just share that section with them, whereas they would also share their information with me.
This is, I think this one's a great one that you can have. You can actually record IEP meetings. So you can start an audio note and you can record the entire thing while you're in there. You can also, while it's recording, you can take notes. So if there's something that you want to remember for later that isn't being said, but you don't want to sit there and jot down notes, you can just type it right in with the audio notes. You have everything in one place. You can also then have notebooks of each individual student and compile all the information needed for their IEPs there. You can take pictures of their work, or you can scan pictures of their work into there if there's something they did that really represents some of their goals that they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, the one thing for me is that anytime I have a meeting, I'm noticing myself going into a student's desk and literally trying to pull out the work that they have. This right here would simplify that. I no longer need to search for what it is that I'm looking for, because if there's, you know, if they go to turn in an assignment and I notice that that's reflecting their progress, if I just take a picture of it, then I have it right there under that student's information right in Evernote. So, and if there's something in particular that I want to focus on, then I can note that within the picture, so that when I'm sitting at the meeting, all the information is really right there for me to be able to go back on. And it's not set in stone. I can add to it, I can take away from it. You know, if the parent's asking for something in particular, I can note that within Evernote as well.
One thing that just occurred to me as a first grade teacher, you know, we have all kinds of data and we do dibbles and all of that, but it sounds like you could record a child reading a book, put the
Absolutely.
text there and have it all there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That would be really good to show a parent, because
Okay.
test data is one thing, but when you hear your child,
Listen to your
this
child
is what
read
they
this
gave
story.
me.
Yeah, so instead of sitting at the meeting saying,
Yeah.
well, right here they mispronounced
And
what,
they say,
know,
oh, no, he knows how to read.
Right, yeah, and, you know, the idea of when they are reading, they say one word, but the text says another.
Right, right.
You can actually write in there, right, in Evernote, what it is the student actually said.
So could you put the text in first, so that it's there for you to
Absolutely,
mark
yes.
on?
You could have it
but,
as a note, so you could start with a note and then go in and add audio to
add
that
audio
note.
to it, okay.
I'm sorry, I was late. Is this, do you have to get the premium
No.
Evernote? This is just.
No,
the
we
website?
have all been working in completely different environments, college level, she teaches elementary, like, we've worked in all environments on our free accounts. We do
Oh,
it
okay.
personally, professionally, we don't pay for things.
Okay, well, you don't have to.
So like we kind of just went over too, is that uploading your student work, you can actually create them a portfolio on here. So all of their work goes up here, you can create, they can have their journals on here, you can create writing logs, whatever you need. And then it's great because you can also share that with parents. So you can send their notebooks along and the parents are able to look at them, they're able to look at the student's work. Similar is that if your students are absent or if it's easier for them to access the notes right in front of them, you're able to share your notes that you have with them, whether you're taking a picture of your smartboard or your whiteboards, or you're taking a PowerPoint and you're sending it to them. Communicating with parents, similar to what we've already talked about. If you have parent communication, they're writing you notes maybe on Monday and it's about something for the child being picked up on Friday. You can take a picture of that note, put it on there, and that way you know that you can go back and look for it later, especially if you're a person who maybe tends to lose things. Makes it easier so you don't have to worry about losing that. You can also put the good notes you get. When I first started teaching, the thing that I was always told was save all of the nice notes that are written to you, because when you're having a bad day, you can always go back and look at them. So if you have those up here, you're actually able to do that. They're right there, they're on hand.
I'll happily talk about this one. This one here is like my favorite piece of using Evernote. One thing that I found, I started using Evernote recently, and when I got started, it was very intimidating as far as like, what do I press, what do I do with this? And so I ended up taking it and putting it in the hands of the students. And so when it says like a project research, and we didn't necessarily have like a big research project that was involved with it, but the reason this was my favorite part is because it really showed the ownership in the students' learning. And so just the idea of, like we did a novel study, and each chapter represented a different topic. So like chapter 1 was characterization, chapter 2 went on the setting. And the idea of the project behind it, it was really an online notebook, except it was an Evernote notebook. And so as the students read, they would just add information to it. One part that I loved most about it was that the students would ask so many different questions that, you know, for example, the book was Number the Stars. It takes place in World War II in Denmark. And so setting was one of the important pieces of the story. And so when they said, well, I don't know where Denmark is, well, that's a great question, let's go ahead and let's find that. And so getting the idea of, you know, here's one topic we're trying to learn, but they're interested in it, so you're able to expand that and keep it all in one spot. So one of the parts I really liked is that you can clip information from all over the place, and yet you have it all in one spot. The students really enjoyed it, you could tell, because you noticed like on their free time, instead of taking out markers and drawing, they would find themselves on Evernote kind of adding to the information, which really is my entire goal of teaching, for them to actually want to be able to do it. But again, you can get different pieces from websites, you can get their own particular thoughts, you can, I mean, everything's an option for you to be able to include into Evernote.